Last year against Purdue, they only scored 16 points. Now just past the halfway point. We're now through 6. It's 16-9 in favor of the Black Knights. And they've still got some of their better competitors coming up here, as Dalton Harkins is the number 32 ranked wrestler in the nation at 174. But he's going to be going up against the number 29 ranked wrestler, Brody Baumann.
I would not be surprised on the result of this. These two just flop places next week in the intermat poll here. But, Vinny, just to go back to that last match very briefly, the ankle pick is a great move to use in wrestling. And I want to point out, Flipowitz got low with it. He got down, and he's able to pull that ankle the way he wants to. It's a quick motion and a quick way to get him down. He uses it effectively as we tie up here at 174 with two of the top 35 wrestlers in the country at this weight class and in their respective conferences as well with the Big Ten and the EIWA.
You see there on the screen, 16-9, the score after 6 bouts. Baumann and Harkins looking to earn their team some more points. Plenty of time left to be had, as we've already seen one pin so far today. That, of course, is worth 6 points. Technical fall is worth 5. And the major decision with 4 and the decision being 3 opens up the possibility, really, with 4 matches left. In theory, sure, you could have 24 points scored if there are 4 pins here. I highly doubt that happens. But plenty of math, which we already established neither of us are good at, could be had to have either of these teams emerge victorious. A big throw there and a takedown awarded to Baumann as he puts himself on top here, and a good first step to getting the Boilermakers back in this thing.
So now just look at this. Hawkins is already building up his base here as Harkins able to stand up, pull him to the edge. He just needs to cut him loose. Can he get the cut? Bowman's using that grip we talked about earlier in the match. You have a close grip like this where you're keeping your hands interlocked as tight as you can. With that grip, it's tough to break it. Harkins is trying his best. Baumann just letting him naturally pull himself out of bounds with his momentum. It allows a reset. Now a chance to drive him down and flatten him out.
Back in the down position will be Baumann this time around. Harkins, rather, is able to escape it. He'll put himself on a point, and so they'll readdress each other from the neutral position.
Now, good escape there. Kicked his leg out, got a little bit of space, and when that space opened up, now a reset back to neutral. But this is a slower match, Vinny. You saw it last time with Buffalo and Purdue. When you get these heavier classes, things slow down a bit. You're going to really feel out your opponent. You don't want to have a sudden error. Let this slip away from you at the last minute here. Because right now the forecast is looking like Army was going to hold on for the win here. However, like you said, it's not unheard of. If Purdue picks up the last 4, all with just 3-point decisions, Purdue ekes out a 21-16 win, coincidentally for the second year in a row. But right now, forecasting, Army's got some momentum, winning 4 of the last 5.
51 degrees outside here in Western New York today, but things inside Alumni Arena just heating up as we approach the end of the first period. Baumann still with a 3-1 point advantage over Harkins here as they take a couple jabs at each other. At the 174-pound division, 2 ranked wrestlers looking to improve not only their standing nationally, but of course their team standing here today in this duel. The second of 3 we will see here today on the mat at Alumni Arena, as the Black Knights will have their second competition of the day after the conclusion of this one between themselves and the UB Bulls, as we take a look at that 3-point play earned by Purdue. And again, as these two wrestlers go head-to-head, this is another one of those well-contested bouts that goes back to what head coach Kevin Ward talked about from Army, which is that any of these could come down to the last 45 seconds, and we've seen still the windows open in that time frame, as now Baumann extends himself a 4-1 advantage here early in the second, courtesy of that escape.
So now you have a 4-1 lead. You're taking your time. But again, like we said, both coaches, UB and Purdue, said it, that Army tough mentality of these guys are going to fight. And right there, he's got that leg. He's kicking out right now. Bowman's trying to kick his way out. But if Harkins can get it to a single leg, here's a scenario. He trips him, trying to pull him. Good job moving your way out of bounds. But just not close enough. Harkins able to get those points.
Yeah, he's able to get both legs there on the takedown. And now we're knotted right up at 4 points apiece. And so as they go out of bounds, 76 seconds left to go in this second period, and they'll readdress each other from the middle of the floor.
Now, Baumann, Nice job pulling himself out. But for Harkins, he does something interesting that maybe goes under the radar. It's called a crank. When you have a single leg and you have that leg up and you can't push him down the first time, you give it a crank, which is a quick down and up motion to get the leg higher before you go for the trip on your opponent, which we saw. He did a really small, short crank, but is able to get that. And in that moment, you see Baumann extend his leg. His leg is completely up. He's able to get the trip and pull him out of bounds. And now we have a tied match.
Right back on top now is Harkins, and Bowman's going to try to fight back. Coach Ursland imploring him to rotate there for a moment, and now right at the mat here, Bowman's going to have to try to find somewhere to go, as indeed they will be pausing things and letting them restart. Coaching staff's going to give each of their athletes a little bit of a quick point of reference, and the referees look like they're going to go to the monitor for the first time, perhaps?
Yeah, Harkins bringing out his challenge brick. So in wrestling, folks, for those who maybe aren't watching or it's your first time in a while watching, you get a physical foam brick you can throw on the mat at any point to challenge a play. What they're exactly challenging, I missed. I'll be honest with you here, folks. We'll get a replay in a second here to what we're looking for. But head coach for Army, Kevin Ward, threw out his challenge brick, and now we're going to get to see a replay here. John Fuller, Buffalo Wrestling SID. They're looking at the near fall. They want to say 3 points here. Vinny, let's break it down for you a bit right now. We'll forecast it again, as we election terminology. He's got him right there. He's behind him, but at the same time, you still see Purdue straight up. Now, he's got him right there. He gets behind him briefly. Right there, Vinny, he got enough for 3 points in my eyes to be behind him. Yes, he rolled out. You could look at maybe him losing it there. But if not there, at least right there, we saw them earlier in the match call that for 3 points. He's got him about parallel to where you need him. So you have a near fall there. Yes, he gets a nice roll. If you don't want to award it the first time, he had it close enough the second time for 3 points, as we're going to get the call what they say here.
Looks like they are not going to award the points. So an unsuccessful challenge, if you will, for head coach Kevin Ward, who is at his 10th season at Army, meanwhile, a two-time EIWA Coach of the Year, has going into today a 51-51 record in duels, and he's had 49 wrestlers qualify for an NCAA championship. He wants Harkins to be another one, but Baumann able to earn himself some more points to give himself back the advantage in the waning moments of period number 2. They continue to scramble back and forth here on the near side of the mat. Harkins tried to get away, and he does. He escapes, and right back to a 1-point bout, 6-5, and that seems like that's where it's going to end after 5 minutes.
Army tough. We said that before the match. We said again, they're going to fight the full 7 minutes like it's the first minute. We saw him kick away. Great takedown on Baumann, by the way. Just to break that down for a quick second. Great takedown getting the 3 points. So we'll watch this really quick. Baumann loses his leg a bit, but right there you see Harkins slip. Bowman's able to capitalize and get behind him for the quick 3 points. Now, to bring up the replay, very close to where Harkins was on that challenge from Army, how close he was. Referee said it wasn't a near fall, had it there. But Baumann now flipped the script his favor. He's going to cut him loose. It's essentially a 0-0 match now. We got about a $140 left to go in the third.
6-6, and these two have certainly put on a show. And right now, number 32, Dalton Harkins, and number 29, Brody Baumann, have 90 seconds of regulation left to decide this battle at 174. Right at the legs goes Baumann. He goes right back on top of him and takes a 3-point advantage.
Great job from Baumann. He got low. He saw the exposed ankle, picked it, got around. Now he's got the lead. Can you hold on for a minute 10 now? You got him flat. Look, Vinny, he's going for that left wrist. Bowman's trying to buck up. It's called a buck when you're at that point. You buck your back up. He's got his wrist, though. If he can hold on to both of his wrists and just keep him down, avoid a stalling, he can ride out here. But Harkins doing a great job at bucking up to try to get his knees up. He's doing it right here.
About a 7-second difference in riding time. So if Bowman's able to stay on top, that'll earn him an extra point. But by virtue of Harkins' effort, you'll see that he's going to try to escape free. Staying after him, though, is Baumann, and then right wrapping around that leg is Harkins. Far side of the mat now. Harkins spins him out. He stays in. He's not out. They're right at the edge of the circle. Just 30 seconds left to go. 2 points on the reverse for Harkins. Riding time no longer a factor now, and as the whistle blows, it's a 1-point bout with 27 seconds left to go in the third period. And wow, what a match this has turned into. Neutral position now. Just 25 seconds as they address each other. Harkins and Baumann, number 32 and number 29, locked together. A stall warning indeed against Baumann. He goes down to his legs. He's trying for the ankles of Harkins, and Harkins has wrapped him up around the legs right at the perimeter. They're going to spin around. Nothing called, and they will stop it there, as indeed it seemed like Baumann stepped out onto the wood of the basketball court, and with 4 seconds left, they'll readdress each other from a neutral position. And one last-ditch effort at it for Harkins sees Baumann emerge victorious in what was an incredibly fought battle between the senior and Dalton Harkins and the redshirt sophomore and Brody Baumann.
And right there, Vinny, again, you saw Army, you saw that Harkins left that